Hello, I'm Sadie Miller, and this is The Legend of the Traveling TARDIS.
Hello, fellow Whovians, and welcome to the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. I am your host with the most, Paparazzo Dave Chapman. How's it all going, everybody? I've missed you for the last week. You guys are all great. We got a great show for you today, as always. We are reviewing the Big Finish Audio Vampire Weekend. This is Jodie Whittaker's first outing with Big Finish Audio, the beginning of a whole new era for the 13th Doctor, along with Yaz, Mandip, Gill. It's going to be a great time. If you haven't heard it, by all means, there will be spoilers, so be aware of that. If you have heard it, by all means, please put your comments in the chat. Let us know what you think. Give it your rating, 1 to 10 TARDISes, and we'll take a look at those later on in the episode. But for now, let's see who else we've got. Let's start with our wonderful showrunner and boss man himself, Christian. Hey, Christian. Christian's on mute. I like this. I like it when Christian's on mute. I don't have to listen to him.
No, shut up. Hello, everybody. Welcome. And especially we are now on, and we're testing this out, we are now on Kick. So anybody who's on kick.com or on the Kick app, we're on there right now. I know we got a few subscribers over there, and I'm testing it out over here. I'm actually watching it on Kick to see how we're doing. So thank you for the folks who have subscribed on Kick over there and who were watching from there. But definitely, as you can see on the bottom, if you want the full experience of The Legend of the Traveling TARDIS, go over to our YouTube page or our Facebook page, youtube.com/The Legend of the Traveling TARDIS and facebook.com /The Traveling TARDIS. So thank you, everybody. Tonight we are going to be reviewing, and if you haven't already, oh, you know what?
What?
StreamYard took out everything that I highlighted.
What?
So pooey on them. Yeah, StreamYard took everything that I highlighted out. Do you see it? Because I don't see it.
What we look like starred?
Yeah, I took out all my
the old stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I took it out before the show. Oh, that's very kind of you, StreamYard, amongst the other things you've done. So, let me see if I can find the posting, because I know at least I posted up over there. Yeah, tonight we're going to be reviewing Big Finish Vampire Weekend. Again, this is Jodie Whittaker and Mandip Gill's first audio adventure out on Big Finish. And we just wanted to do it now because it's appropriate that we're entering the Halloween experience all the way up until the 31st of October. And don't forget, you can see pictures and videos now online over on our YouTube and Facebook pages of The Legend of the Traveling TARDIS, and also currently the Halloween Horror Nights experience that we did. We have some videos as well as pictures from there. And if you want to enjoy and get your Halloween on, this is a good place to start. And that's it. Let's go.
Excellent. Let's see who else we've got. We've got, of course, the Reverend Amagon himself, Tom. Hey, Tom. Welcome.
Until we meet again.
I love that they did that, the meme version of him.
Oh, this is so perfect. I gotta replace either pixelated Mojo or Mr. Sinister? You bumbling boob. Anyway.
Anyway.
Planet.
What's going on, Tom?
Segue. I don't know.
Segue. Okay. Well, no segue. We'll just bring in Sean.
know,
How about that? From our philosophy is, we'll bring in the man. That is the wrong button. There we go. That's the one we wanted. Let's just get rid of that.
Speaking of bubbling boob.
Hello, everyone.
Oh, it kicked everything.
Hello. Whoop.
Was it supposed to?
I think we removed the picture, and I think we removed him.
Yeah, let me see if we can get him back. Go ahead and bring somebody else on. I'll grab.
All right. So last but not least, we've got Gadget Pendragon.
Hey guys.
Hey, Gadget.
Crazy news, huh? There's none to talk about really, except that everyone is confused right now about the Ronnie and the Master. Seems they got married.
They did.
Yeah, but the best news I heard.
Hold that for the Who Knew News.
I know, but I heard the best news though. 7 years of the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS.
Oh yeah.
7 years,
Yeah.
guys.
Here.
And we're at what are we at now? 83.9 now, or 83 point?
I haven't checked lately, but I was going to do that at
Let's
the end
see.
of the show because I was hoping we get a few more people on here
Ooh.
before we get in.
I was close. 83.8. So we are probably going to get 83.9 tonight. Oh, and he sneezed, which means it's true.
Do what?
If you sneeze during when someone says something, it means it's true.
Oh, okay.
So we might get 83.9 tonight because it's at 83.8 right now.
Here we go. And we got Sean back. Here
Now
we
you
go.
can,
Let's
you
bring
can
him
add
in.
them now.
Hey,
Hey,
Sean, sorry about that.
Hey guys, so how much of that did you hear?
None of it.
Zero.
No.
Oh, so I just said nothing. Huh?
No, we brought
No.
up you shared that picture and we accidentally
We
brought
are
the picture up
being
and then tried to
fun.
remove the picture and removed you completely.
Oh, okay.
You're here
Well,
now.
I assume
Now
that
you
you
can-
said. I assume that you probably said, "How are you doing?"
Yes.
So
Hello, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm glad to be back. I was gone for a couple weeks, but I'm happy to be back with this Big Finish episode. I'm really excited about it.
Excellent. So without further ado, Christian, why don't we just jump right into the Who Knew News since we've got Gadget here?
Okay. We're going to the Who Knew News with Gadget. I just gotta find the
Since you found the
video.
button.
There's so much stuff that they've added nowadays. It's just horrible.
Well, let's start with the fact that there is no Doctor Who news because I don't know what's going on with the world right now, but all we know is that they are on hiatus. There is a hold on the land and the sea because the last thing we got was it was going to be January 2026. But let's go into the birthdays because we have first Karen Allen, and many of you grew up with her, and depending on what era you grew up with her, you either saw her in Animal House, Indiana Jones, Starman, The Sandlot. You saw her all over the screens, and I didn't realize I might have had something in conjunction when I started acting was the fact that she was on SVU during the year 2001 on the episode Scourge, if I'm saying this right, to make sure my dyslexia is not kicking in to reverse some letters. Yep. So she is turning a lovely 74 years old. Can you believe that? I don't see it. But if you are a fan, I know she was doing something recently, but mostly it's just conventions and trying to get back out there. But her last thing I remember seeing was the last Indiana Jones that came out. But happy birthday to her. And we have something special. Our own Ian McNeese's birthday. It was on October 2nd, and he's 75 years old. You guys remember him from Ace Ventura, Doc Martin, as Winston Churchill, right? And let's see what else I have here. He was in Dune, actually, The Children of Dune, and The Beautician and the Beast, The Englishman. Like, he's a world, how do we put it? he can do anything. Jack of all trades. Let's put it that way.
Jack of all trades. Yeah, he's been in Rome.
Yeah.
He's Ventura. Yeah, he's been all over.
He is versatile. When you talk someone who can switch a role, you'll switch it. You would never have guessed, you know? And I think Winston Churchill was his favorite. And then for those of you that are looking for something to do while Doctor Who is on hiatus, it seems while surfing Amazon and some other sites, I found the links to Magic the Gathering for the Doctor Who Commanders decks. And I think Amazon was having a special on them, but they were very expensive, so I didn't get a chance to get them and everything. But if you guys want to, you can head over to Amazon or Google and pick up the decks if you want to just play Magic the Gathering while waiting. I know Dave might be have more insight on this type of Magic the Gathering because I cannot play it. That's why I made a book. So I can play, you know.
Yeah, Dave. Do you know what's going on with the Magic of the Gathering right now?
I've only just I haven't been kind of busy with a few other things lately. I'm not sure if they've got announced a new set. I've seen it pop up in the news, but I haven't seen if it's just that they're coming on sale on Amazon. We of course interviewed
Wizards of the Coast,
one of the designers twice actually. I think we did. I think we interviewed him twice.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, sometime back about those commander decks, and I know there was plans for another set of them, and I just don't know if that's what the case is. I know they did just announce a new set of these Universes Beyond.
Well, they were doing a box set of 4 decks on Amazon, and I know I sent it to you guys because I wanted to verify it because it does look like a good set. It's just that if you can afford it.
Yeah,
right
they're expensive. Each of those boxes runs, $60.
Because they're having the prime deal, and that's where they're coming up cheaper. Like the set of 4 is $189.97, and you're getting the 4th Doctor, Missy, believe it or not, our own Jodie Whittaker, and
that's the original set. 4 sets.
And then they have another one that has the TARDIS on it. That's someone sent me, and I said it's got to be a mistake. It's $487.
No, they're all collectibles. So
yeah, and they're all being offered on Amazon right now.
Deal that four price that works out like $47 for one of them, and you're normally looking closer to $50 to $60.
So if anybody is looking for it, like I said, maybe Dave on your show, you can explain a little more and stuff. Because if I try to, it's not going to work. I couldn't even play the Spy Family one that was offered at New York Comic Con last time. It was too confusing.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's the dyslexia or whatever. It just doesn't sink in. For some reason, I can't. The order and everything.
Right.
Can do quantum physics. Can't do that. Like I said, like I told you guys earlier, trying to look up simple things and stuff. But here's the fun part that I mentioned earlier. People were confused online, and I didn't want to say anything yet until I got an official one because John Bailey had pictures, other people had pictures, because depending on who you spoke to, the Master and the Ronnie got married, but everyone was thinking it's either the new Ronnie, not realizing that it was Ronnie Chandra from Sarah Jane Adventures and everything, and she looked so pretty in her dress and everything. They had the wedding in Tuscany, Italy, and it was a combination of, let me make sure I get this right, because I did find this out on it, because I found the British Vogue article. It said it was a combination of Hindi and Western traditions, and the highlight was the custom design vintage Jimmy Choo shoes and other things that they focused on. That's why and everything. I was trying to find other things, but she looks so beautiful in her dress, and I'm trying to see if I can pull it up right now to show you guys, but it's like this is, if we can get it to focus. Okay, you got it. Yeah, because I had this one right here because I love this shot that it was sent. Yeah, you got it. Because that is beautiful. And they said everybody seemed to enjoy themselves based on what the pictures were being seen and the hugs and all the other. And it just said British Vogue had featured numerous photos of the event. That's all I was able to find that was like validating it, besides on John's page, John Bailey's page.
So we can safely say the Masters finally got the Ronnie. So
yes.
There we go.
But it was just too like people were so confused because they weren't sure and everything, and we were trying to figure out, and that's why I didn't bring it up to the guys. But look how beautiful that is. Gorgeous. Like that dress is gorgeous.
I'm curious how they met because they were still, they were in separate areas. He was Doctor Who and she was in Sarah Jane. So I'm curious how they got together on that one.
Maybe something like they were planning before all the changes, you never know. Maybe something was going to be tied in.
Kristen, I did just drop the our 2 episodes with Gavin Verhey from the Magic the Gathering into the private chat there. So
sure.
If we want to put those, if anybody.
Throw those out
like I said,
want. Or just look up Legend of the Traveling TARDIS, Doctor Who, Magic and Universes Beyond, and you'll get the 2 episodes that we did with Gavin.
Well, I'm going to throw them into the chat, so if anyone wants to pull them up.
Perfect.
Yeah, because it's like I said, we're on
right now.
Wait, guys, because right now we're on, like Doctor Who is on a hiatus, and this will keep you guys busy until whatever. Because I'd like to know what we're getting. Because even Christian brought up a good thing. What if we get AI? What if we get, another female doctor? What if we get? We don't know. We don't know what this is because is so. And then they drop hints at conventions, but I think it's just teasers to get everybody to watch for Land and Sea, as well as anything else that's popping up like at conventions and other things. But right now there is no definite return for Doctor Who, and Land and Sea, because of Disney, is basically on a standstill till January. It may change again. We don't know. But would you like to have now the best news? Our lovely 7.
The wedding wasn't good enough?
No, it's 7 years for us. 7 years. 7 years of the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS, and I think we're going to keep going, right?
Well, let me elaborate on this one because
it's a little weird. Yes,
well, I wouldn't say a little weird. On the Saturday, I got it on my phone somewhere. I'm trying to let me get the original date.
Yeah, I was looking for it too.
I was yesterday. Actually, it would be October the 6th, but back then October the 6th fell on a Saturday, and the first episode of the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS fell on audio. It was only 30 minutes long, and I think 99%
iHeartRadio, if I remember.
iHeartRadio, Spotify, Spreaker, all of them have them out there. We have our classic audio episodes out there if you want to if you want to take a look at them. But we changed gears after a while, and then we decided to do video, which you're seeing right now. Especially now, we're celebrating our 7th year, and we added Kick to our program. So welcome everybody who's on Kick, who's seeing this for the first time. I know we have some subscribers over there, so thank you for joining us. Again, if you want to majorly support us and get all the good stuff, you definitely want to go over to the YouTube or the Facebook pages. But that day, I think, God, it was a totally different team as well. And I think one of the members was the gentleman who runs sci-fi.radio, which his name is now eluding me, and he's going to kick my butt for not remembering.
Gene.
What's that?
Is it Gene? Was it Gene?
Yeah, thank you, Gene Turnbow. Yeah, and it was only 30 minutes long, and it was sponsored by, at that time, Krypton Radio. And Krypton Radio played our audio, and I turned to Gene, and he goes, yeah, you need more than 30 minutes, dude. So we started expanding out to 45 minutes to an hour to what you see now, which is basically an hour and whatever the heck we talk about after that hour. So, yeah, and now you see us on the social media platforms, YouTube, Facebook, X, Twitch, wherever. And yeah, we thank you. So we started the day before Jodie Whittaker premiered, and the episode was about what we thought about Jodie Whittaker being the first female doctor and what we were expecting on that. So Jodie starts the day after, which was that Sunday on October the 7th. So whenever Jodie celebrates an anniversary, we're one day ahead of her. So there you go.
That works out and everything, but it's crazy. 7 years of doing this.
Yeah, and happy anniversary to Jodie, because she's now in her 7th year as being the doctor.
Can it be 7? God, yeah.
Yeah, it's been 2018.
It's just that frog did her in on some things.
We don't talk about the frog. So
What's wrong with the frog?
Some frogs are dangerous.
other frogs just didn't make sense at all. I'm like, what the hell is this?
And someday we'll find it. The rainbow
Nope,
connection.
nope.
Copyright. Copyright.
Not copyright. I don't want to hear it.
It's under 10 seconds.
What?
It's under 10 seconds.
I got those buttons too.
Oh,
Forget Rainbow Connection. Do the really good one with Robin and halfway down the stairs.
Oh, that is scary. That he sounds like Kermit. You do sound like Robin. Oh man! And this is the wackiness I deal with every day.
There you go.
Moving right
At
along.
least once a week.
Hey guys, I dozed off for a second. What podcast am I on?
Yes.
A very interesting one that tells the truth.
You're Mr. Beast.
And we keep our fans entertained because we're real.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
So is that it? I think that's it for the news.
That's it. Because I'm trying to dig up news, and it's just there's so much red tape right now. Is it red tape that is for the bad thing?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, red tape with Doctor Who that it's like some of it's so taboo. It's like, and I'm rhyming. That's not good. All right, yeah, we're done with the news.
Ooh.
Gadget. Well, we've got you up there. Let's start with you, and let's do our ratings for Vampire Weekend.
First, it was shorter than the ones you made me listen to before. I'll give that one. My audio thing to catch what they were saying still messed up on words, so AI sucks. So minus that, minus whatever, it did stay on track a few things. I give it about a 7.5.
All right.
Because I already figured out what it was in the first 10 seconds.
Well, then.
Yeah, that's what threw me off. That's why I only got, it would have gotten like an 8 or a 9. But I already figured it out after something, and I was like, yeah, I already know what this is.
And Reverend Amagon, what do you give Vampire Weekend?
She said taboo on the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. I gave Christian my number because I know what Christian said.
I haven't said a number yet.
No, but you told me how you felt about it.
That's true. Okay, I'll give you
No
that.
pre-watching. Come on, guys. No alliances.
I'm still gonna stick with a number I told Christian. 5.5555555555. How?
Okay,
5.
5 infinity.
No, you have to count the musical notes as part of the number.
I heard you, Sean. So what is your number, Sean?
Mine is 6.95.
6.95.
He said 69.
0.95.
What about you?
You got mine at the last. I'm the host.
Oh, you're the co-host.
Peace.
So that means that you got to give yours next.
What was the lowest number? What was the lowest number?
It's like 5.
5.555555555.
Keep
Okay,
going.
I'm fine. 4. There. I mean, the lowest number.
Higher than I
All
thought.
right.
It's like a negative number. Like, how low can I go? 4.
That's what I did. I was playing Price is Right. I wanted to hear everybody's number, and then I wanted to go one step lower than that.
He was going to do $1.
It wasn't a 1, but it was definitely not a 10.
It's like a reverse auction.
Or 5. So I said 4.
Well, that does put you at the bottom. So what
Do I have $3?
why did you only give it a 4, Christian?
Well, did you want to
go
do
first.
commercial? You want to go
Oh
commercial?
yeah, let's do
break?
commercials and then you can come back and explain yourself, sir.
Explain yourself, sir.
Explain.
No soup for you.
Explain.
Oh, good. I will. When we return, please stay up put, and we'll be right back. We're going to be reviewing Vampire Weekend, Jodie's first audio episode with Mandip Gill in Big Finish Audio.
Film historian Jim Kitsis writes in his book, Horizons West, "The call has echoed out over the lonely landscape of critical endeavor. What is the Western?" We know it when we see it, but we also know the Western can be many things, a non-specific collection of elements or settings. The Western can be a hero, a villain, the wilderness, freedom, honor, savagery, or maybe all of those things, or maybe none of them. The American Film Institute defines Western as a genre of film set in the American West that embodies the spirit, the struggle, and the demise of the new frontier. But then sometimes the Western is none of those things, and yet the film is still a Western. Maybe the Western is a vibe, a feeling, an intangible spirit, archetypes of history or mythology. Maybe the Western is the sound of a hawk overhead, or the click of a gun, or horse hooves thundering across the prairie. Maybe it's a showdown, a setting where the desert meets the rocks, a dusty town, a snowy forest, or an old truck driving down the highway. The Western can be many things, all of those things, or none of those things. Sometimes the Western is a Western simply because there's horses on film.
I'm author Mark Muncy.
And I'm author Erica Lance.
And this is Eerie Travels.
Greetings, travelers. Join us as we travel through folklore, myths, monsters, legends, and dark history.
Now, we'll be your guide to the spooky side of reality as we discuss cryptids, paranormal, and all things preternatural.
Sometimes we find the truth is way scarier than fiction.
We're on twice a week on your favorite podcast platforms, including iTunes, Spotify, Amazon, and YouTube.
We have amazing guests from all of the areas of the strange and unusual, including witnesses, investigators, and more.
Yeah, with Erica's curiosity and ridiculous array of pop culture and true crime knowledge.
And Mark's decades of experience diving into folklore and the legends with the truth that's behind them.
Yeah, so join us, travelers, as we take you to the edge of reality, and we'll see you on the other side.
I didn't listen to that voicemail. I'll tear open that letter you sent. Don't you tell your friends I want you back. I gotta leave you now and unread, because you've already said those words that switch my heart to dead from loving you. So you'll stay ghosted and I'll stay focused. I'll sew enclosed. The spell stays unspoken. A dark silhouette of a marked man and broken. Right down. I didn't listen to that voicemail. I'll tick-tock that story you sent. Don't you reel me in to get me back. I'm gonna leave you now.
Spoilers! This is Sophie Aldred with The Legend of the Traveling TARDIS.
And we are back. Welcome back, everybody, to The Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. We are reviewing Vampire Weekend, the first Big Finish audio with Jodie Whittaker and Mandip Gill. And it's going to be a great discussion because we've got a wide range of numbers here. So Christian had the lowest.
Yay.
So as Christian gets to go first.
Thanks for reminding me.
Hey, you literally asked what's the lowest.
I didn't say I wanted to go first. I just said I want to be the lowest number out there. This is gonna hurt. Sorry, and I hope Faith is not in the chat because she's gonna kill me after this.
Yes, yeah.
So, in the nicest way I can put it, I'm not gonna be nice. I'm just gonna be forward about that. That's what you guys want. Somebody had taken in Big Finish and going, that Chibnall run did so well with everybody. Let's move it over to Big Finish. And apparently Big Finish didn't learn from the Chibnall run. And I'm not putting Jodie or Mandip under the bus under this one, but I felt like we were getting a continuation of the Chibnall era, and that's not a positive whatsoever. And I felt like what they did with this particular episode, it was corny. And I understand that Doctor Who can be camp, but this was just way too corny. I mean, just like for its own good. I think Mandip and Jodie tried their best for what was written. I forgot who wrote it. I think it's Tom. What was his name?
Yeah.
Tom something.
I didn't write nothing.
And he's written a lot. I'm sorry, Tim Foley wrote this, and he's written a lot of Big Finish. And I actually, ironically, I haven't heard any of those Big Finish, I think, except for Stranded. And Tim, it just didn't work for me. It just didn't work. Sorry, Jodie, it just didn't work for your first outing, because I felt like this is the first time ever I shut off a Big Finish audio. Because I didn't like where it was going with this. I was just like, it's way too silly, even for Jodie's taste. You wrote something, and I know Jodie can be silly, and she tries to have a good time with the Doctor, but I thought it went too far. You lost 3 points, 3 big points, because there was an Orphan 55 moment in there, and we have a new Benny. Thank you, Bobo. That really ruined it. I'm like, yeah, you lost 3 points for the Benny Bobo moment. I'm just like, and the mother just became and it just brought back that horror memory of Orphan 55. And I'm like, no. So, I wrote down something where Chrissy, if you know anything about Chrissy, my wife, she will tell you that if anything in any movie or any TV show, if the dog dies, she turns you off. Mm-hmm. So the dog can't die. And I thought that was a cute little joke in there. I thought a good line was, the truth is always ugly, which is true. Mm-hmm. We've also had in the past, we've had vampire mention in Doctor Who. The one that is, I think, currently right now, the only one that it's stated a vampire episode is State of Decay with the 4th Doctor, where they actually have vampires and they actually mention Dracula. The only other time is with the 11th Doctor of the Vampires of Venice, but it turned out to be fish people. Mm-hmm. And after that, the only other time, I think there's 2 times in Big Finish where vampires are brought back. This one, and there's an episode of the 4th Doctor called Buddha Castle.
There's a 6th Doctor one as well.
There is a 6th Doctor one as well. Yeah. Audio wise?
Yeah. Okay. Vampire of the Mind.
Vampire of the Mind. Okay. I haven't heard of that one yet, but I just know about those.
You have access to it.
I do?
The only reason I know it exists.
Oh, okay. Someone went into my personal data and then got it. Yay. So I just, like I said, I wanted it to be the good outing, but I think what I wanted more or less, I think what I wanted was more of a focus, because they started to do it, but it didn't happen until the end of what I've complained about with the Chibnall era when it came to the relationship between Yaz and 13, was that I think you needed to keep them together, and I think this should have been an episode about vampires with just those two and how they were getting along, because you're going to work on that relationship. That should have been the case. And the other thing is, if you have characters involved in anything, and I'm hoping for them to be taken out, just like the movie that Jodie was in, was the Attack of the Block, and I was rooting for Jodie and nobody else. Everybody else could have been wiped out in that movie. I'm like, you're gone, as far as I'm concerned. It didn't work out well. And I know people were finding positive things because I was reading reviews of other people, but I kept to my guns and just said, listen, that's how I critique this. This felt like a Chibnall error episode.
Error.
An error. And I was just not happy with it. And it could have easily fit into any 3 seasons that Jodie did. And no, it just didn't work for me. Sorry, guys. It just did not work. I'm hoping the next episode will.
Do you mind if I ask? Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Well, you can say what you're going to say. I just had a follow-up question for you.
Sure.
Well, you said I think I might have missed. You said there was an Orphan 55 moment for you in this. I didn't catch what that was.
That was Bobo.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it became the Benny Bobo. If anybody remembers anything about Orphan 55 and the Benny moments, that just became so annoying. Yeah, exactly. I'm glad I brought that memory back because that's how I felt.
Thanks a
lot.
And
I said just that memory alone dropped you 3 points right off the bat. And
I see.
That's where I was coming at. It was just if anybody remembers, I think it was Benny was the husband and the wife. I can't think of her name, but exactly. Just to give you, I'm hoping I don't bring back bad memories, but
I think I forgot it. Like I that's why I probably didn't realize what because you said Benny and I don't remember that in that episode. I'm sorry.
I shall not repeat the scream that was heard around the WHOniverse that they all regretted. I think it's just like I don't want to do it. I'll let Tom do that since he mentioned that he would do that, but I'm sorry, it didn't work out for me. I think they should have focused more on 13 and Yaz's relationship that they failed to do. I think in the show series itself because they were supposed to have this relationship, and I was like, well, it's too late. You already have companions in there flogging around. I didn't care for any of the other characters in the episode. I was hoping I don't care about them. Go ahead and knock them out. Just keep Yaz and 13. I don't care about anybody else. And that's a sad shame. The only other thing was that I thought was funny was I got hungry during the damn episode. Because I hadn't eaten breakfast yet, and I just heard eggs, and it's just like great. Eggs terminate, exactly. So that's why I rated it a 4 because I just wanted to be I wanted to be one under the person who rated it last. So
that's fair.
And
that person who rated it last, otherwise, was Tom at 5.55555555555. I think I got all the 5s in there.
Yeah, exactly.
I was typing them as you went, so I think I caught them all.
55555. 5.
So why did you give it 5.5 repeating?
I said if it was out of 5 itself, I would have given it either the area code of 305, 321, or 407, which I still retain that one. But I figure in between, because it did not, again, Bobo, it just is, for me, that was hilarious because it was so awkwardly weird. The following through, it was not a narrative story, so you're there with them. You can hear the feet march like true traditional audios back in the day. We did that back in theater.
Tom, if you don't mind, I just want to cut off for a second there, and I want to throw this question to everybody. I had to rewind a couple of times to know who was in the story. At first, I thought Jodie. I thought 13.
I thought it was me. Thank you.
I thought 13 was in the car asleep, and it turned out it wasn't her at all. And
I thought I was confused too. Okay. I thought they were taking her with them, and I was like, "What?"
Yeah, there were times when I had to rewind, just like, "Wait a minute, who's in that car? Where are they? Who's speaking?" Mm-hmm. Okay, so I'm not the only one. Okay,
no,
sorry, Tom. Continue.
Not listening into it is okay because I'm not focused on anything. The only thing I was focused on was Ned Fountain and his books. Because he's a friend of mine. And my other friend who likes to write stories. So, listening through is okay, very mediocre, but, nothing compared to, I should have pulled the book over. Ned Fountain's Lies and Dolls, because going through that, it's like, that's a murder mystery. This is like, okay, it's fitting in with Jodie's time. That's what they're doing. Everything Big Finish fits in. We all try to think it's continuity, and That's why I tried to. And I said, it's not continuity. It just so happens that it would fit in place like that. So, okay. I accept that. The whole chicken thing with Ian and Barbara, what we thought was the end of Bobo, it was like, ew, I can see it. Because that's, having that, the visualization of, like driving down the highway when you get some, or something, because that's what they do. And so you see that stuff. It's like, ugh. So that's what we're supposed to believe.
I'm not, when we were talking about it earlier, I'm glad I wasn't the only one who caught that reference. I'm just like, God,
straightforward.
no.
It's like, is this the same woman
So
from Orphan 55?
It's almost sounded like her, yeah.
Wouldn't doubt it, just for the fact that she did that. Well, you know what? We want to bring you in. And the writer talked about it. It's such a great story. It's like, okay. And of course, the actors have to agree with that. I mean, I did not agree with that one voice actor, which I did a review on. Then he actually messaged me and said, I'm sorry, I did not sound like the first Doctor, and I will do better next time. I was like, oh, I felt bad. It's like, I criticized him, the actor, and I didn't tag him. I don't think I did. But he came back. It was and he said, oh, yes, he's a very nice man. I was like, oh, well, I have other actors that sound like the first Doctor. Chesterton, come here. So,
well, I think if it's a useful criticism, and if somebody just comes up and says, well, this sucked and I'm never watching this again.
It was not at all. It was just,
but if it's useful, it's just like, no, it didn't, it didn't come out the way that it should have. It should have been this and that.
Yeah.
They can always take that advice and manipulate how they
and he did that. That's why I stated and that's how he took it. I just felt bad he did. And with Frasier sounding like Patrick like that, but it's bringing in Patrick's sons. Okay, the acceptability of that. So with these here, like, okay, the woman, because her tagline was Benny, and say, let's bring her back or say Bobo. So for me, it was just hilarious. But again, it's not they'll turn to vampires in the morning. Like, what? Would it be like in nighttime? The this and that? It's like, wow. But I do everything else. I'm ironically have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 tabs up right now. My signal is so I'm always doing multiple things at the same time. So but I listened to it. I was like, it's not the greatest thing in the world. I love Jodie, and Mandip had fun with it. As she said, she felt she could do this audio because of her character, learning how to say things. Like, okay. So it fits in with, mainstream Doctor Who, which I like, stuff like that. It had Jodie and Mandip. I like them. The Bobo thing was just so stupid. It was funny as can be. But the whole vampire thing here and there, like, it was weak.
And to tag on what you were about to say, Gadget, I was like, I figured it out within the first 3 to 5 minutes.
Oh yeah.
I was just like,
not even.
Wow, that was predictable. I'm just like, okay.
The shapeshifter thing, that was well, is a person here? Person is no, it's Big Finish. Weed. Whatever.
I was shocked I figured it out because I was like,
Oh no,
it was just like
Doctor Who and vampires and his shapeshifts. Okay, it's most likely the dog, but I just went not thinking about it. I was like, let it play through. Let me do
the rat?
Star Wars.
You mean like she said the rat?
It's like, whatever. It was the silliness of it all. But I gotta dig through Christian's other Big Finish stuff to see what else he's got to remedy that, or just read.
I have tons
Neb's
of
older
stuff.
books.
There was just, I don't think I have any of Neb's, but we'll talk about that. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, Stephen.
So next up is Sean at 6.95. So we got a pretty good review here from Sean. What do you what worked for you? What didn't?
Yeah, so I gave it a 6.95 because I couldn't quite bring myself to give it a 7. And I would say that this story was good. It wasn't great, it wasn't terrible. It was just good. There were some things I did quite like about it. I think they had some good jokes in there, for example. The joke about the Star Wars movie with the forest full of dogs that live with Indiana Jones, that one did make me laugh out loud. I wasn't expecting that. I've never had a Big Finish story actually make me laugh out loud like that. And as far as the reveal, I know that it was semi-obvious, but I also think that they did a fairly decent job of teasing that it could be different things, because I sort of have the Scooby-Doo effect where I think, okay, what's the most obvious thing? What's the thing that they don't want me to think it is? And I considered a few things. I went back and forth a couple times, and I didn't have it completely figured out. But the callback to the dog licking the cupcakes in the beginning, that was a good callback, I thought, at least. So overall, I would call this story probably cute. I don't think it's really something that's very substantive. It almost seems sort of like something that would be released on the Doctor Who YouTube channel for a holiday special or something. I actually don't think it fit all that well in with the Jodie Whittaker era. And I know that that era was very up and down, but this just seemed very light. It seemed very non-serious. It seemed cute. That's probably the word I would use. I would say, that was cute. I do have some criticisms, though, that take it down even from there, because first of all, I have to say it does sort of have this quality of being very much an audio drama with audio drama acting, which makes sense because that's what it is, but as a person who spends a little bit of time producing audio, if you watch the last review I did of A Big Finish audio, I said that one was pretty good at not sounding too much like it was manufactured. This one kind of has a little bit of the problem of the audio sounding a little bit manufactured in the performances, because when I'm in a room talking to someone and I go, hey guys, look over there at that window, and I turn around, your body does physical things when you talk and move around and stuff that will come out in your voice. And no matter how good of an actor you are, unless you just do this all the time and you put a lot of effort into sounding like you're actually walking around, when you're standing stationary and you basically only have your hands and your facial expressions and your voice, it's gonna sound a little bit stilted. And when they have to add the sound effects in, there was quite a bit of echo, and that was good, but part of me just always feels like this is a group of people standing around in a studio pretending to be in a room together with a monster. And even if you're not trying to make sounds, if you walk across one side of a room to another carrying something, you will naturally make sounds that you won't if you're just standing still. So I don't know if that necessarily took anyone out of it. That always takes me out of it a little bit. And the other thing is, as far as criticism is, did you guys listen to the extras at the end with the director talking about the story and everything?
Yes.
So I heard the producer say something, and this is not the director, this is the producer. I heard the producer basically say that when she was producing this, her goal was to create something where Jodie Whittaker would be sort of the happy-go-lucky, carefree doctor, because that's what she wanted her to be. And I took issue with that for a couple reasons. Now, if you're a fan and that's what you see Jodie as, that's fine. But Jodie's doctor, I think, is the doctor who thinks she's the happy-go-lucky doctor. But the show very much makes a point of saying that she shouldn't be ignoring things. She's going through life trying to pretend that everything is okay, but when someone asks her about something that's genuinely bothering her, she shuts down. And she just kind of says, on to the next thing, but she's still dealing with trauma from, number one, the last era. Capaldi definitely didn't deal with all of the trauma from the Time War. You can see that in things like the Zygon inversion. And in season 12, she learned some very dark things about her past. So she is kind of an avoidant doctor, because I'm thinking a happy-go-lucky doctor that sort of just says, let's go and have an adventure. We already have that doctor. It's the 15th Doctor. That's sort of Ncudi's thing. And whether or not anyone likes those stories or not, that's kind of his whole thing that he's doing. And I don't think Jodie was that. And the second reason I have a little bit of an issue with portraying the Doctor that way is just sort of outside the lore of the show. I do not think in 2025, in the current media landscape, that that's the kind of entertainment that people want. 5 years ago, maybe people wanted the heavy escapism. I think nowadays, when people watch Doctor Who, they want a story that's going to tell them, okay, there are things you're going to go through, but it's okay. People are looking for those stories like The Empty Child and the Doctor Dances, or Doomsday, or The Angels Take Manhattan, or The Zygon Invasion and the Zygon Inversion, Face the Raven, Heaven Sent, or episodes like Rosa. They're looking for an episode that says, yes, things are going to get bad, but you will be okay. I think that's what people want from Doctor Who, because they see the Doctor as a symbol of hope. Not because the Doctor is avoidant and pretends that everything's okay, but rather because the Doctor says, I've been through things, you've been through things, let's get through it together. But even though it wasn't exactly what I wanted, it still was enjoyable enough, I think. So that's why I give it a solid 6.95.
Well, and on top of what you've just said, it's just like, yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that. And I totally forgot that the producer did come out and say, hey, I want her to be happy and go free lucky. And that's one of the things I took issue with Jodie's Doctor altogether. It's not like, and I think I was speaking with somebody, I forgot, but it's just like, well, she's in this stage where, she's gotten over it, and there's a big difference between War and now we're at 13. And I'm like, no, that can't leave the Doctor. The Doctor has to take that. That is something that the Doctor has to deal with. What was it? The scene with the Ood, where Donna, the Doctor does something to her, and she gets to hear the voices of the Ood, and she starts crying and experiencing what the Doctor feels. And she's going, how can you stand that? How can you take that? But that's what he listens to all the time. I mean, that's the stuff that's going through his or her head at that moment. And it never releases, because that's who the Doctor is. He has, or she has, the weight of the universe in her. That's something you just don't get over. It's not like a car crash where, oops, I was a fender bender, I'm going to walk away. Maybe for a couple of days I don't drive because I'm a little scared, but then I'll get back to drive. No, that's something that constantly reminds the Doctor that's the Doctor. And with the happy-go-lucky thing, it wasn't consistent with her other 12 predecessors, because you can see that each Doctor, even though, even like the one that I consider the happy-go-lucky Doctor was the 8th Doctor, even though he wasn't around as much. But the development of who he became when he actually ended up becoming the War Doctor, because he had a zest for life and a love for life and everybody. But now he was challenged to the point where he was even going to get rid of the name, that he couldn't keep the promise. I think it's a great story arc. And I don't think that's something that's ever left the Doctor. It makes the Doctor. As Kirk puts it at the on the Final Frontier, I don't want my pain, I need my pain. That's who makes me what I am. That ever leaves. That's the Doctor. To me.
No, I understand it. And I will say that a lot of people probably didn't like how they dealt with Jodie, with the 14th Doctor sort of taking time. But you can't say that they didn't at least try to deal with that at all and say, okay, the Doctor did get to sit down and have his life, and they're doing life out of order, and at least they addressed it. I don't think from 12 to 13, I don't really think that happened. There wasn't like something that happened at the end of 12's life where it's like, okay, now I'm over this stuff. So, and if someone wants that escapist, I'm definitely not saying that the fans are wrong, but I just don't think that portraying Jodie that way is consistent with how she was in the show.
I think it was consistent. It wasn't consistently consistent. In the show, there was more room to breathe and get those darker moments in there. And they definitely existed, where he's in her own head, clearly dealing with whatever trauma she was dealing with. But she didn't always have that. And she took the opportunities to not have to deal with that when she could, whether that's avoidance, whether that's, active dealing with her trauma, whether that's just who she is, combination probably of all of those. I think she really did, when she had the opportunity to avoid having to deal with her trauma, or be happy, fake it till you make it to deal with her trauma. She did.
Right. And I guess that's more of a criticism of something the producer said than more of the actual episode. So I just wanted to say that as well. But yeah.
Well, and that's fair. And I think, and I'll come back to this probably on my review, but I think this could have easily been a part one of a multi-part, like a box set. Like when we got the Ninth Doctor, we got several stories at once. And they said in those same special features, they briefly and like hit it and ran, that this is starting at the start of a story arc for them. And presumably for her and Yaz together, specifically finding themselves as a 1-in-1 team, as opposed to, 1-in-2, 1-in-3, the way she was in the show. It's what we all asked for. We said we just want Yaz. We don't need Dan. We need more Yaz. And now we're going to get more Yaz.
Yep.
But you have to kind of plop that into the box of her continuity somewhere. And right in between after her second episode or her second season, which is again where they said this is kind of presumably lands. That's important, right? So I think it's going to be interesting to see where it goes, because they definitely have a plan.
And they're so good at it too. Big Finish people.
Do you think this would have been better had it been one of 4, 1 of 2, 1 of 4 in a set?
Me specifically?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm curious to see where they're going to go with the rest of it too. I personally remember thinking that I thought this probably should have been a little bit longer, but as far as the angle with Jodie, that's just more of the way. I think it's consistent with her character. I'll take that back a little bit. I think it's consistent with her character, but I will say I don't think this is necessarily the kind of story that people are really craving right now. But that's just me.
That's fair. That's fair.
Could I add to this, Sean, that I don't think it's the type of story that they should have started out with.
Yes.
I think if you're going to dive her into Big Finish audios, and let's just say for the mere fact that maybe even some people have not even witnessed the 13th Doctor from Big Finish. They're starting on it later, or they're going back earlier, or maybe they never saw it. If you're introducing the 13th Doctor, and I think this is where it should have been, this was the fault of why we had too many companions, that if your focus is Yaz and 13, it should just be Yaz and 13. Don't bring in these other characters that don't add to anything. I think
right off the bat,
it should have been those two fighting off bug-eyed monsters and vampires and having a really good story to encompass them, and then those two working together. If we're doing that now, I think at the end of the story they were trying to hint that, but I'm like, but you like I said, you took the Chibnall thing and you screwed it up again. It's just like, if you want the focus to be the two of them, it should have been the two of them from the very beginning. Not out here now, and then when we're at the final season, where it still doesn't make sense because we don't know how these two got along and how they got together. It's it just happened. It's just like, oh, okay. And there's one other thing too, and I'm taking this from the Critical Drinker. I'm using his terminology, but he criticized a lot, especially when it came to the character of Yaz, that like the writing would just pour spunk all over Yaz. It's just like she's getting credit for things. I'm like, well, what did she do? There was one scene in I think it was the Timeless Children where Bradley Walsh's character Graham was just giving her compliments. I'm just like, I don't even see anything that warranted these compliments. And I don't even think any script has ever pushed like a companion. They always had their flaws, like Sarah Jane, like Amy, like Rory, like Nikki, like Rose, like Donna. They always had their flaws, and that's what made them their character. But they never got praise for anything. Except for Donna, which she was the most important person in the universe. But even then, she wasn't there to accept it. She was there to say, I am not,
Very curious to know what people think online as well. about because I haven't really looked up any reviews. You mentioned an online review. I haven't looked up anything yet.
I saw a few articles and stuff like that. I try not to because I don't want it to be the influence of me, and I kept that at bay. But sometimes, you have those temptations. It's like, well, what did somebody else say? Did I miss something, or was I doing? But I try to be very careful not to be influenced. I might read one or two, but I try not to read them at all or listen to anybody's, because when I come here, I want to make sure my take is raw and out there. I don't want it to be influenced by anything that I hear off to the side. Otherwise, then it's not in real time. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. If I'm right, by all means, more power.
Yep.
But it's my opinion in its essence form, not mixtures or mix-ups of other people's opinions to form mine. That's what I don't want.
I get you.
So,
all right, no, and all that's completely reasonable. We're that's what we want. That's what we're here for, is to give our opinions, not regurgitate everyone else's.
Mm-hmm.
And we're not always going to be on the same page. You gave it a 4. Kristen Gadget gave it a 7.5.
Because I was laughing hysterical. Because I put it on in the background while I was trying to take care of things, and all I kept hearing was, at first I'm like, are they driving the doctor somewhere? Because it's hysterical to have the doctor sleeping. And then I was like, no, is that? And then I hear what they're doing. And then I hear, why does this sound familiar? Because I thought it was an episode at first. Because to me, it felt like it was an episode. And then I was like, no, it can't be and everything. But why does it sound like whatever? And I'm like, I've heard something like this before and everything. But I let it go through and all that. And they just kept talking about the one family member didn't show up. This one's not showing up. About the person coming out, about this and everything, that truth sets you free or truth can hurt you type of things and stuff, as the theme was going through it and everything. But the damn funny part was like, the one who owned the dog just kept spilling truth every 5 seconds. And then as I'm listening to everything, and I'm like, wait a minute. Besides the chickens, the only other animal there is this. And all the other crazy things. And I'm like, yeah, I know who it is. Because it got to the point where they kept saying, we're all in the same room. Who else is in the room? Who else is this? So logic would dictate the vampire gets rid of, make it look like the dog is gone, and be like, I can run around, nobody will notice. But then they kept saying, I smell strawberries. I smell this. I smell that. That's why it was almost, I don't know, that was the sister, right? Because I told you I get confused because of the non-visual and everything. And like I said, the audio part wasn't catching what they were saying and stuff. It kept saying other things. And I was like, is it the sister? Is it this one? Is it that one? But the reverse vampirism where sunlight and everything. But what got me was the doctor almost spilled. That was interesting. That's why I gave it, because they said they almost got the doctor to spill. But then they did a 180 and it just was like, we're going to ignore that story or that elephant in the room or that dog in the room and everything. But I was just laughing at it because it just to me was too short, where the other ones were too long and very inclusive. This one felt like it was a half-hour episode that I was watching, which helped a little because I could see in my brain all that stuff. But like, to me, it was just too short. Way too short and too obvious that the culprit in the room was the dog.
Spoiler.
Mm-hmm. And the fact that she had to have 2 chicken pets, that was the other funny part.
I love that. That was
yeah,
good.
and she had to name them Ian and Barbara. I mean, come on.
Right?
I mean, that was just
Ian and Barbara, right?
I just, I'm just, and then I love when she finds out, not Barbara. And then at the end, she mind melds the other one to say, "Oh, I had a pet chicken." That's why I was laughing. Why I gave it a 7.5, because I'm like, it's funny. It doesn't have a storyline. It reminds me of the old Saturday morning cartoons, but. Yeah, I mean, that's why I gave it a 7. Otherwise, for plot, it had like a 4. But for Saturday morning cartoon feature, like when I used to record the cartoons onto my audio cassettes and listen to them later and stuff for everything. Like I have a whole room full of audio cassettes full of cartoons that you can't get anymore, and cartoon themes and everything and stuff. That's why this reminded me of that. That's why 7.5, all the other. But yeah, it was Saturday morning to me.
Okay.
And the cat got mad when the dog and the chicken were like not making noise. She was looking for the chickens.
Yeah.
Now I'm hungry. Thanks, guys.
I haven't eaten yet. I only had breakfast.
Neither have I. I came from work and I just came right over here.
Chicken.
Yeah, we let mom and dad have the kitchen while I try to find something. I mean, the only thing I got, and I didn't want to do that to you guys, was this.
Paparazzo, did you want to go through the chats before you?
Yeah, let's do that.
I think some of them are funny.
Cyborg T100, better known as the Candyman. I love it, even though I am not on the show. The panels are still using my decimal points. Love you guys. We love you too out there. Timescale says I personally would give Vampire Weekend a 7 out of 10. Vampire Weekend rates a 7.7 out of 10 on the timescales out of 28 ratings out there. Sticks Boy, thank you for joining us from Kicks. How you doing? Thank you guys. If you're out there on Kicks, please do say hi. I just wanted to post this up there because Timescale says Christian had some valid points there. There, all you need to know. Billy Covington says, if you all take what all the doctors have done over the years to save the universe, which doctor do you did the best job saving the universe?
That's a whole episode.
Yeah, that's something.
That is a whole. That might be a
Someone
future
write that
episode in the next year.
I'm going to say the
Yeah.
seventh Doctor because he completely preserved it and froze it in time for 16 years. So
You could say the 11th because he rebooted it. He brought it all
that's
back. So
What about the 8th that caused the border?
another episode?
Another episode.
Bruce Art, Benny. Sorry, Benny. The doctor.
Oh, we got a Benny.
Benny. But this is a good Benny. Benny, the doctor, always gave praise to the companions. He did. I'm not. Let me see if I can see this right. The doctor always gave praise to the companions, but when it came to Yaz, the writing gave her praise, which I don't think was warranted. Not yet. It's because they hadn't developed her yet. She was there. She was trying to do her stuff, but because we were working with Graham, we were working with Ryan, we were working with Dan. I mean, we still lost the focus. So I get what you're saying, Benny. Yes, the doctor always gave praise to the companions, but I think when it came to 13's run, and this is why I throw the writing under the bus all the time, is that the writing gave too much praise to Yaz for her accomplishments that she hadn't done yet. So Billy continues, says, was this Jodie's first audiobook? Could they have made it just to see what the fans would like and not like? So when they write for her character next audio story, they would have made their corrections. Well, here we are.
Yes, it was the first. This was the first outing for Jodie's Doctor within Big Finish. And they won't have had a chance to do too many corrections because they've already got more pen to paper.
True.
And Timescale says, I think I was looking at this episode through rose-tinted glasses, unintended. Since Jodie was back, sounds like Tim Foley was tad sloppy. I think he had a good idea. It just felt like, to me, it felt like it was rushed to try to get this episode out. And I think he had a great idea, but it just wasn't executed the way I think it could have been better. And again, my personal opinion, if anybody wants to jump in, it should have just been the two of them fighting off vampires. And the thing is, with the vampires, we already have a history with them from State of Decay. And
well, like she said, she's been dealing with them, and the damn TARDIS put a force field around everything.
Right, but I mean, we already have a kind of history with them from State of Decay, and even Dracula gets a mention. So I mean, I think there should have been more of a focus to that, because all of a sudden now they speak the truth, which I'm like, okay, Weeping Angel form, they got a new weapon. What the hell?
But the problem was they didn't speak all the truth, because all they kept saying was Yaz was doing things they wanted to do, or this one finally told this one how they felt about them after something, and this one, that, and that, and that. And I'm like, okay, then if you're sticking with that, stick with that thing. Like, don't just, you know what I mean? And stuff like that. Like,
And
it's
Chris-
just crazy.
Sorry, Gadget. And Christian, you also asked about the thing with there being too many companions. I don't think that would have been necessarily as much of a problem if we started in the TARDIS with Jodie and Yaz, and the characters were more secondary. But it felt very much like an event, like almost like an Agatha Christie, like where there were 6 main characters instead of 2 main characters and 4 side characters.
I've said that in previous episodes when we were reviewing Jodie's time, and I said if you really wanted to focus, what should have happened is first year should have been between Jodie and 13, and then the guys come in and kind of throw things into a loop, because now we're involving new characters and they're kind of taking time away from the Doctor out there. Timescales is just making me hungry, damn you. National Taco Day. So without further ado,
Taco.
Ta-da!
What did you
So
rate it?
I'm on the outlying of this because I really did enjoy it.
It's
so
fine.
I gave it an 8.
Okay.
Ooh.
And he already ate as well.
And I have not. My food is my oven is. I heard beep. Food is in the
He's
oven.
gonna
When
run.
This episode is over.
We're all done
it is
here.
not, unfortunately, tacos, and now I'm disappointed.
Taco Ross.
Taco Ross. Yeah, no, I
had
now I wish it
Brussels.
was tacos.
I had
Thanks.
breaded chicken with Brussels sprouts and carrots last night.
Mhm.
Hey, you people
But,
shut up and let him
no,
redo
so-
because I don't be hungry the whole night.
And we don't want his kitchen
Yeah.
catching fire.
You just see Dave run off to the side like, my spinach puffs.
My spinach puffs, no! Spinach
Sorry, Dave.
puffs!
He's making the souffle. Go ahead, Dave. Go.
We'll start there since we're making a Benny joke, and again, not you, Benny, who's watching, but
That poor guy.
Benny. I definitely got that. I hated the mother. I hated her.
Uh-huh.
But I did not hate her to the level of Benny. Boo Boo was annoying, and I think they did and had we not had the Orphan 52 Benny bull, I think it would have worked better. She was an annoying character. She was intended to be an annoying character.
Mm-hmm.
I did love the dogs, the dogs living on the planet with Indiana Jones in Star Wars, because that's the sort of thing my mother would say.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, my mother is not nearly as dense as this woman, but I could see my mom saying something like that.
What is it? That one T-shirt where it's a Dalek and it says "I love R2D2" in Star Wars or Star Trek.
Star Trek.
Yeah, whatever that shirt is. It was like, yeah, that's something I know people would say right off.
Yeah, somewhere that came from truth.
Exactly.
I just thought she called the Ewoks dogs.
Yes, exactly. And so I loved that. There was so many moments like that. The Ian and my chickens, Ian and Barbara. I don't think you understand what a hen-do is. I don't, there was constant bits where it was just like, that's funny as hell.
Mm-hmm.
And I loved it. And I'm in a spot outside of this show. I'm not in the greatest world right now. We don't need to discuss it. It's not a big deal. But I deal with a lot of negativity and virulent negativity on a daily basis right now. So to have this as that escapism was immensely enjoyable for me.
I was
It's
laughing
exactly
hysterical
what I
last
wanted.
night. I was laughing hysterical last night because it was
Yeah.
that for me. Because I knew
Exactly.
what a hen-do was. I knew what all that was because I know those terminologies
Yeah.
from things and stuff. And it gave me 5. And even my dad was peeking in a little to see what was going on.
Yeah. So I think that worked well. Is it a perfect episode? Heck no. And I don't disagree with a lot of the points that have been made today. It could have been tighter. I really do. This is when I mentioned to Sean, I think this should have been one of 4. Like we should have gotten a box set to start Jodie's era, not just this one episode. Would this have been the weakest episode in that box set? Probably. But I think it would have fit better, and we would have seen where they're going and been a little bit more lenient to this on its own.
I'm sorry. I just want clarification on that. Do you mean that you want 4 different stories, or this story expanded?
No, four different stories.
Okay.
Or and interconnected, probably, because usually the box sets are interconnected. But I would have liked. You said I want more Yaz and the Doctor. That's probably where they're going. This is where they chose to start that, for better or for worse.
Mm-hmm.
This could have easily been the second episode in a 4 set.
True.
One with just the Doctor, or one with the Doctor and Yaz going off. I think it was good that it was not like that. We didn't have an episode of Dr. Yaz specifically before this, because Yaz, they have such a weird dynamic in a good way that they had to. That was part of this episode, was exploring and realizing, no, I know who you are. Maybe I don't. We need to find out who we are and how we're going to work together, and acknowledging that there is going to be a different dynamic.
Why does that sound familiar?
Yeah. Because anytime you move companions around, there's a new dynamics. So acknowledging that is a good thing. And I think had we had whatever the next show is that they're doing, if we had that now and we'd be able to see that, I think maybe this would flow a little bit nicer. But as it stands, we only have the 1 episode. I appreciate what he tried to do. I appreciate the attempt, the middle ground between Agatha Christie and a slasher flick, where you've got this mystery.
I think I know where you're going.
Figure it out, but at the same time, it's clearly a monster who's attacking you and taking people out one by one by one by one by one. So it worked, and I think it worked fairly well. I think it could have been darker had this been a television episode. I think they could have gotten away with it being darker. I think it would have made a very good television show, depending on how they handled the final transformation from yappy little rat dog to vampire. Yeah.
See,
it was interesting.
See, my disappointment is that you were mentioning that, it would be cool for the slasher film one by one by one by one. And I was sitting there going, thank God, thank God, thank God, thank God, thank God.
And I was like, I can see that. I can see that.
It was just, they locked themselves in a room. They do this, they do that. It was like, it was just, I don't know. You know what I mean?
It's not the first time we've seen those little glimpses into specifically Yaz's real world, but in other companions in general. Rose comes back and is like, oh my God, where have you been?
And poor Donna gets knocked to the other side.
Whereas Yaz, we got a little bit of that with her family, but never her friends. Hey, you've got nothing on your socials. That's a big deal for a generation. To suddenly just
that's
drop
what
off
threw
internet.
me, because you don't really see anything until you see what I see, like with social. But to me, if it goes away, I wouldn't be bothered by the socials. You know what I mean? Going away. Yeah. This society today has a panic attack when a certain one went away before. You know what I mean? And stuff, because it was disappearing. Imagine what could happen when the truth comes out about people how they feel about talking to people, again.
Yeah. Well,
that's what I think it was. They were afraid to talk to Yaz.
Not to defend it as much, but when it comes to social media, you're talking about somebody's livelihood in some cases, and something like
that's
TikTok,
different.
Well, I mean that's okay, but I mean, like, I've seen people, when you go to the schools and when the kid's phone is taken away, how they go ballistic.
Well, did you see the 12-year-old that tore apart his mother's house because she took his phone away? Or the kid at the Apple store that took the phone away and they just punched them out? I'm like, what's going on?
That's an illness. That is an illness that, you should be able to put the phone down, quiet the chatter, and spend time with whoever you're having lunch with or dinner with. And I'd like to say I'm a better person, I want to say, but I'm on the phone too. They're on the phone as well, and we're having a chat at the same time we're on the phone. So
I'm monitoring right now the show
And I
and
mean,
everything.
Well, on a
in this
podcast.
case, it was, Yaz has gone away traveling. How often do you have a friend that goes off traveling and doesn't post on a younger person, especially, who
younger.
isn't posting about their adventures?
right.
Hey, cool. Check out my trip to Hawaii.
All the Japan ones, all the
Japan
whatever,
or
yeah.
wherever. Pick a location. They don't know where she's gone, just that she's gone traveling, and she's not posting about traveling, so they're worried about her.
Yeah.
That also gets me too. If you're not posting that where you're traveling, that means you're having fun.
Yaz is not watching the entire vacation through a phone. She's watching it
and
with
that's
her eyes.
fine.
Or you're dead.
But again, that's there are people who
That's
just
what
don't do
what
that.
worried people when I went to England, because I wasn't posting. One, it sucks over there, the Wi-Fi, and two, I was having fun. I was rather taking snapshots than.
We're all a different generation, though.
Yeah,
we are all. Even Sean, I think, is who's probably the youngest of us, is now a generation past where that is.
I'm actually 78. I'm just kidding.
Oh, okay. My bad.
You wear it well, sir.
Okay, baby boomer.
Dave, I don't know if you're in the middle of your review or not, but I just wanted to say I was happy about something that you said. Is that okay?
Yeah, go.
Yeah, so I talked about how, what I wanted from the episode was a certain thing, but this is something I always want people to know with any of my review content or just the way I feel about reviews in general. Dave, you just said this was an escapism episode for you, and that's exactly what you wanted. So it's like, I think it's important to reiterate a lot of the time, at least for me, whenever there's something in Doctor Who or any show that I don't personally like, if someone else likes it, I'm never mad at that. I want that. I want more people to like Doctor Who, because that means we're going to get more Doctor Who. So I'm really glad that, because I kind of thought I had my hand on the pulse of everyone. It's like, okay, well, this isn't really what people want, but you saying that gives me hope that maybe this is what a lot more people want to hear, like this kind of story. And I just like you, I laughed out loud at a lot of the jokes, and I'm glad to hear you say that provided you so much joy, and with it kind of being more of an escapist thing. I mean, I'm never mad at that. I want that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And just kind of to wind up my review, because I agree. That's my opinion, your opinion, Kristen's opinion. They're all our own opinions. We're here to not stroke each other's egos. We're here to have a great discussion, and that's what we're doing.
Oh my!
And I love that. Yes, Kristen's little ego, and so we get, yeah, and
shut it off.
I had to mute because I almost cackled.
Speaking of,
I'm sorry. I hissed and I laughed. I laughed like Muttley from Dastardly and Muttley. If you guys ever saw that.
I'm calling this Ian and Barbara and Amy and Sarah Jane and yes, my companion eggs.
But it was like I said, it's been a long time since I've listened to a Big Finish that I've been able to just sit back and enjoy, where I didn't have to necessarily pay as close attention. I will agree that the opening scene in the car was a little bit challenging, because they all sounded like they all had these northern accents, so that was a little bit. Okay, wait, is that the Doctor that we're listening to? That doesn't sound like Jodie, but it sort of does. It's got it, but I got past that scene, and once I realized what was going on, I was fine. But yeah,
that scene, I was hoping it was the Doctor, because it would have made more sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't object to how they brought the Doctor in, coming in after the fact, and making a grand entrance.
Holding two chickens.
Very much the Doctor's style.
Yes, with chickens. Yes,
with chickens. Exactly.
How else?
But that's
your Princess Diaries. Here's a chicken for your family. Like the Princess Diaries. Here's a chicken for your family.
Yeah, exactly. Do we have some more chats before we wind things up?
We do have questions, but we're going to run it down. So let's go ahead. Billy has some questions. We'll just throw this in real fast. When the companions have a problem with how an adventure ends, and they go to the doctors for their opinions, so who does the doctors go to when they aren't sure of the results?
themselves.
To their
That's,
mind,
that-
yes.
that's the problem. Is the doctor has, depending on the companion, the doctor has no one to go to. That's part of the character, and especially
Thousands
the
of years.
13th Doctor.
That's very bad multiple personality disorder.
The 13th Doctor has never was never good at opening up. We touched on that earlier.
Yeah, even Shooty said that.
Yep.
Yeah, like another Time Lord, he had multiple personalities. He remembered he was like on 8 or 9, and that's what his number was. He was just went by a number with that current incarnation. So he just back and forth. Everyone's talking to him inside of his head. For the Doctor, it's like, well, what happened during my time as the second Doctor, as the fourth Doctor? So it's reminiscing, seeing how things went through that way. So largest encyclopedia is the Doctor, starting from the very beginning.
Scales. I'm starving. Alrighty. Well,
I know.
Let's go ahead and get the one more question from Billy, and this will be the final. Billy says, since all of you had a good and long history of Doctor Who, have any of you ever wanted to send a storyline to Big Finish? Yeah, I did. If anybody wants to go, have you ever wanted to send a storyline to Big Finish? And
what do you mean by send a storyline?
I want to send the one where they wake up and it was all a dream.
What do you mean by send a story? I mean like continue one in the show in Big Finish?
I think an idea like a separate
a pitch
storyline. A pitch. Yeah, there you go. Pitch.
Yeah. I have a whole idea for another spinoff, but I won't go into that because Christian is hungry. So,
oh, we're gonna blame me. So,
I'm certainly not a good enough writer to have ever wanted to do that.
I will do this quick one because this was a time when we lost during Chibnall's run the Christmas episodes. And he came up with what I thought was a lame excuse is like, we don't have any more ideas. And I said, oh, I have one right now. And I said, the idea is, I call it the Doctor Who Saved Christmas. And what happens is the Doctor is going to take Bill and Nardole to Christmas, and he gets time rammed because he finds out that the December the 25th throughout the entire universe has disappeared. It doesn't exist. The calendar actually goes December 23rd, 4th, 26th, 27th. So December the 25th does not exist in the universe, and the Doctor has to go and find out what happened, why it took place, and try to restore all the timelines back for Christmas Day. And I thought that'd be a cool episode. If I have more time and more means and wasn't running this podcast, I would probably wrote the episode.
I think that's a really good idea.
That was one idea, but that was spawned on when he said, oh, there's no more ideas for Christmas. I'm like, I can find 10 of my friends who can throw ideas at you if you bother asking. So
can I tell you mine in like 10 seconds?
Yeah, go for it.
Go.
Yeah, my idea was called Professor 12. It's just
all right. Time's up. No.
There you go. It's just called Professor 12. It's a spin-off show about Peter Capaldi's time as a professor, like between the time where he starts teaching and Bill, like he meets Bill. It's just like there's a group of students that you get to know, and like obviously they graduate and stuff, but it's just like about the times that like they almost discover that he's the Doctor, and like maybe they do and he erases their memories or something. Because he's just really good as a lecturer. I would love to see just a show just with Peter Capaldi and a bunch of college students. I think that'd be fascinating.
I think it would be too. So everybody, thank you so much for joining us. Sean, since you're already on the screen, tell us where people can find you.
Yeah, since I'm already on the screen, I will do that. You can find me on YouTube at Our Philosophy Is. If you want to look up, or if you want to follow some nerdy topics and content on sort of a sporadic and slightly philosophical angle, you can go to my channel. It is a queer-friendly space, and I talk about lots of things, not just Doctor Who. And I kind of forgot that I was reviewing the Patrick Troughton episodes one by one, but I've had a crazy week. But I am currently reviewing the Macra Terror. I'm going to do the animation this time, as I'm going to talk about not just the story, which I've seen or read 1,000 times, but I'm also going to talk about the animation and go on from there. So if you're interested in that, head on over there. Thanks.
Gotcha. Your turn, Tom.
Well,
after you're done eating, let me go ahead and bring it over. You're killing me, Tom.
I know he does, right?
Being in the show. Go ahead.
Basically, in about how many 24, 48 hours. I'll be at New York Comic-Con praying my cosplay doesn't get soaked with the rain. Hoping everything fits and trying to promote these two monsters on lulu.com because now I figured out how to do QR codes so everybody can scan them and order right from the site and everything. That's the D&D one. And let me just make sure I have the other one. And yep, that's the other one for the Copley book and everything. I know the lighting is bad, but trust me, guys, they'll be on probably the website or anything. And how does that happen? Look at that. It just goes, there we go. So if you guys want Copley, you can try to get that. If you guys get it, I'll do it for that. And if you guys want, where is it? This one. Let's see. We have the D&D one. All right. And like I said, I'll be at the Bronx Zoo after Comic-Con on the 17th. And then we have Halloween here for the kids, which I wanted to bring up to you guys. If you guys can donate, I have an Amazon page and everything. If you have used props or anything, we can surely use them and stuff. And I'll be at the Nightmare Before Christmas for my birthday.
Alrighty.
And in health.
Try Tom again.
Try him again.
Tom, where can people find you, sir? You turn on your microphone.
I didn't turn it off.
I didn't turn it off.
It just went off. Those ghost.
Not me.
You can catch me on Spill the Geek Tea. There's a QR code up there.
There you go.
And that's Sundays at 5 p.m. on YouTube and Twitch, which hopefully we won't get any Twitch bots, but we do. Sunday, I have no idea what we're going to do. So if Gadget's available, we'll do a pilot episode of the Gadget Files. I do have contingency plans. Catch me on my regular channel, Tasty Cake, Wednesdays and Saturdays at 5 p.m. Eastern, where I talk about stuff for 4 hours long. And I'm curious, when is Nev going to be on the show?
We're in talks. Speaking of which,
oh,
Dave, before your house catches on fire,
is it still
My
beeping?
roommate has gotten home. I timed it so that it wouldn't turn on until roughly when they got home. But so the house will not burn down.
Good.
No smoke.
But you can find me Sundays on Spill the Geek Tea along with Tom and Mark and Gadget sometimes and all of that. You can find me Mondays starting this coming Monday, the 13th of October, youtube.com/@horsesonfilm, where my cousin and friend Scott talk about the IndieWire Top 100 Westerns list. And we go through every 2 weeks. We're going to go through a different movie. So we've got a few of those in the can with some special guests, including one episode with Melody Jean, who some of you might remember from this very channel.
Mm-hmm.
As well, Thursdays, this past Thursday, the first Thursday of every month, you can find me at youtube.com/@Happiness Patrol Show. So we talked about Rogue One on this most recent Thursday episode. Next up is, of course, episode 6, episode 4, Star Wars: A New Hope. And you can find me in between all of that, youtube.com/TheRatHole, DOTCA. That's therathole.ca, but YouTube does not like URLs in their URLs. And that's kind of everywhere that you can find me in 30 seconds.
And stay tuned for next week because we have no idea what we're going to be doing, as we normally don't on the whole week.
That's why they love us.
So don't forget, we are going to be at Makers Fair with the Daleks of Florida, November 8th through the 9th. Get your tickets now at Makers Fair Orlando at the Central Florida Fairgrounds located in Central Florida. And let us know, because the Dalek builders out there, if you love science, if you love robots, and you want to inspire your kids, this is the place to go, especially if you love those robot wars. Definitely want to do that. And before we go, don't forget to write over to Billy at kitchenkillers.com. Mention TARDIS, you get 10% off our bottles. They are being restocked as we speak. The Voodoo Chef is creating them. So again, sorry for the delays, but definitely write over to Billy if you're interested in getting yourself a bottle. And as always, don't forget to say goodnight to Simon on the way out over there. And until the next adventures, folks, let's go ahead and say goodnight to Simon. Until the next adventure, Tony, take us out.
Good night, Simon.
Bye, Simon.
Nice, Simon.
Why did I take his picture down? There we go.
I don't know.
That's how we roll. Good night, Simon.
Good
Night,
night,
Simon.
Simon.